Hello and welcome to another Hate Watchers Breakdown and Review. Today we're reviewing episode 5 of Star Wars Andor, entitled The Axe Forgets. Let's get right into the breakdown. Spoilers ahead, you've been warned. We open up on former deputy to the regional manager Cyril Karn in his childhood bedroom on the verge of tears after his mother put him in timeout. He heads to the dinner table where his mom pours him some cereal and feeds him a heavy diet of insults, calling him a deadbeat loser. She wants to call Uncle Harlow to cash in a favor and get Cyril a job, and it kinda sounds like this uncle is a mob boss. We return to Andor, still undercover as crackhead Clem, who's just coming back to reality, and he's worried his magic meth crystal was stolen, but it's still there. He casually spies on a man bathing, and the man invites him to stare at his nipples. He tells Andor, "You can have my nipples, but you'll never have my trust." Returning to Coruscant, Mon Mothma is having a nice breakfast when her teenage daughter swoops into the room and cuts her down for no reason, calling her a self-serving bitch who has no butt. This dropout pours Clem some milk laced with LSD.
You may question her existence after a few days.
They talk about how the man is keeping them down, man. The Empire's just not cool, man. Vel tried to make a birdhouse, but she was too high. She still tries to show it off to Clem and he doesn't like it. I mean really doesn't like it. Tremaine asks Clem to picture a mountain of crack right in front of them. The gang's informant in the garrison is angry that the security let this band of druggies vandalize a gazebo out front. Tremaine squeezes Andor's butt and he almost blows his cover.
More. Don't touch me.
But he gets back into character.
If you want something, you tell me.
And offers to trade his body for more drugs. Back on Ferrix, the ISB is moving into this apartment building, even though it's not the best neighborhood. Returning to the gang, they're high again and practicing their Nazi march in preparation for their coming heist. The fuzz rolls in and they scatter. The Popo run a flyby in an effort to scare the lowlifes and clean up the neighborhood. With the heat gone, they break into their hidden stash to celebrate. Andor, aka Clem, freaks out when one of them grabs his jelly beans. Miss Stick in her butt keeps looking for reasons to shove more sticks up her butt. Back to the gang, they're trying to hotbox their tent, and Skeen passes the blunt. They leave their goats behind and head toward the garrison, thinking about the big score that lay ahead of them. This girl prepares to shoot smack in between her toes. Skeen the Skeeve takes Andor's special meth crystal he knew Andor was hiding, but his undercover identity Clem is willing to kill for it. We cut away at this critical moment because we have to see Mon Mothma driving around with her husband. Seriously, this was a completely useless scene that gave us nothing more than a look at a cool speeder. Skeen apologizes for taking Clem's meth crystal, saying, "Sorry man, I got confused, I was high." Dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire, Luthen is scanning the radio trying to hear Lizzo's new single, "I Got the Moves Like Jabba." He says he's nervous about Andor getting caught and ratting him out, and that brings the episode to an end. We've reached that point in the video where we have to decide if this episode was a great watch or a hate watch. Well, my god, this episode was boring and useless. After 4 pretty good, intriguing episodes, this show drops this steaming pile of crap on us out of nowhere. And for that reason, this episode is a hate watch. The show itself is still clear of hate watch territory, but it can't afford to have too many episodes like this. I mean, it was okay to me as a Star Wars fan, as I can find some enjoyment just listening for bits of info and lore that flesh out the fantasy universe I love, but it's hard to see how non-Star Wars fans would find this interesting at all. This episode truly could have been about 5 minutes long and we'd have gotten the same amount of character and story development out of it. I mean really, what did we learn here? The group doesn't trust Andor. We knew that from them repeatedly saying that last episode. Mon Mothma's home life is uneasy. We knew that from the last episode. The ISB is starting their investigations. We knew that from the last episode. Karn is an unemployed loser. We knew that from the last episode. Why are we spending so much time with this group? As far as we know, Andor is done with this group of rebels after this job, so if these characters aren't around this season after the heist, we're really gonna look back on this episode as just a complete waste. With 12 episodes this season, they can afford to have some stinkers and recover, but let's hope they really limit the number of episodes like we had last night. Well, that wraps things up for today. Thanks for joining us for this review. Comment below, does your love of Star Wars get you through episodes like these? If you're a non-fan or a casual fan, did you enjoy this episode at all? We'd really appreciate it if you would take the time to like the video if you liked it, and remember to hit that red subscribe button if you haven't already, to stay up to date on Andor and other current shows and movies. Thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next one.